I have to get something off my chest. There is a situation here in Quebec, Canada, that is appalling and systemic. And I am deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned about our future here in Quebec. Now, let's understand this. Let's first talk about this. Canada is a first world nation, right guys? Okay, so now that we've established that, everybody knows Canada is among the richest in all the earth, all right? There are people living in Canada who are even just like middle class, and we are among the wealthiest in the world. My family and I, we're not rich, okay? Although we're fine, we're comfortable, my husband and I both have jobs. But we're not rich, yet we're still considered among the richest in the world. So many decades ago, I think in the 40s, the father of the NDP party, Tommy Douglas, established that all of Canada, all Canadians will have free healthcare. Here in Quebec, the situation with the healthcare is out of control. I'm going to tell you my own story in a few minutes. I'm going to be asking you to please give me your opinion and advice, because this situation has deeply concerned me, and honestly, I'm really angry. Wait till you hear my story. And I'm not going to sit back. I'm by no stretch a force to be reckoned with, but I do love justice, and I'm not going to stop until I can find a way to make a change, or at least I can find other like-minded people who will come beside me, stand with me, and voice this change. So now, here in Quebec, back in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic started, apparently, Quebec was so stretched in their healthcare system, both in the hospitals and in long-term care homes, nursing homes, that there is a tremendous amount of burnout. Many people that were in retirement have been called to come back into the workforce. Many of them have reluctantly come back. I've spoken to many people. I also have a nurse with the Eversy pharmaceutical, and she told me that over 25 years ago, many nurses that were coming close to retirement were forced, basically, or strongly asked to take a severance package and retire. Those nurses were never replaced. At the same time, I was told, at the same time that many doctors left Quebec, either they retired or they left, and they were never replaced because of the significant language demand here in Quebec and the policy that everybody must speak French first. Most doctors are reluctant to come here because of the language. So here's the situation. Here in Quebec, we've been here 6 months. We came for Risdiplam, and for my son to go to college. You know that about me. But we are finding it extremely difficult to survive here. And I'll explain more about that. Because of the healthcare system, we cannot get a doctor's appointment. My husband tried going to the hospital, emergency, told that he probably will wait more than 48 hours. And after a few hours, they basically said, you may as well leave, we're not going to see you. Excuse me? I thought we live in Canada. I thought we live in a country where we get free medical care. At the same time, over the last few months, I have had to pay $200 for a blood test. Quebec is moving towards medical privatization. That is so not fair. In Canada, everybody deserves free healthcare, and everybody has a right to it. Why is it in Quebec that my neighbors, people I know here, ourselves, cannot go to a walk-in clinic? They refuse to see us without an appointment, and try making an appointment. It's impossible. We have tried. The best my husband could get is a phone consultation. They're not listening. We're being forced into privatization. Now, let me tell you my story. Many of you know I've been very sick for 2 weeks. I was so sick that there were days I thought I would die. I'm not done yet. So I couldn't breathe. My lungs were full of fluid and I could not breathe. No doctor came to my home. Now let me go back a bit. When we were planning to come to Quebec, because of my need for a caregiver, or for caregivers, I was given the privilege, I say that loosely, of registering with the Community Living Service Center. There are CLSCs all over Quebec, every neighborhood. All right, so because of that, because I'm registered with them, and I'm very grateful, don't get me wrong, I've been able to access funding to pay for my caregivers. Yay, yay me. Now, because of being registered with the CLSC, they also said that I qualify for any medical service. Back in October, I got COVID. I couldn't believe it, but I got COVID. And I got really sick. And of course, being a person with SMA, it went immediately to my lungs. Mind you, I feel that I was more sick these last 2 weeks than I was with COVID. But I was sick. And the most that they would do is send a respiratory therapist to me. I'm grateful, don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. I didn't have to go to the hospital. That respiratory therapist intervened on my behalf and was able to get hold of a doctor who prescribed some medication for me. Thank God I got past that. So this time around, when I got sick, again, I had a respiratory therapist, but no doctor has come to my home. A doctor phoned me twice, way overdosed me on prednisone, nearly caused a mental break because I was panicking so badly. I really believed I could not breathe for like 8 hours on Monday. It was brutal. I never ever want to go through that again. They, believe it or not, did not prescribe antibiotics until 2 days ago. Antibiotics are imperative when you're a person with SMA, even if it's not an infection. they need to give you antibiotics. Antibiotics are what helped me get better. Well, I'm almost better. Antibiotics are imperative when you have spinal muscular atrophy, whether it's a sniffle, because or if it's something more serious. And antibiotics are the only thing that are going to dry up those secretions. Well, unless they put you in the hospital and they give you a bronchoscopy, which is going to wash your lungs and hopefully get rid of some of the secretions. They refuse to suction you nowadays. Anyway, I survived and I'm getting better and I'm very grateful for the care that I did get. But nevertheless, I'm pretty upset. I think you could tell. I'm deeply concerned about what we're going to do here in Quebec as far as healthcare. We cannot afford privatized healthcare. There's no way. It's just not going to happen. But we need healthcare. So, short of driving to Ottawa, which is in Ontario, and going to a hospital there, I'm not sure what we're going to do for my son or my husband, or for me, if I get sick again. Anyway, that is my rant, and now here's my question. I would really love for you to leave me a comment, and I will reply to you. I'm looking for advice. I'm calling on Quebecers, especially, to come alongside me and stand with me for justice, for change. We need change in this province. It's not right. This province is by no means the richest province. People here are working class for the most part. Some people are middle class. Most are not rich. And I bet they're not going to be able to afford privatized healthcare, just like us. So I'm asking, what would you do in my situation? Would you stay, even if you're getting Ristaplam? Would you leave and not get Ristaplam? Would you fight for justice, like I plan to do? But how? How am I going to do this? I'd like you to leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on this situation. And please give me your opinion. Give me your advice. Let me know if you have any suggestions. And I'm very, very happy to follow up. I can't let this go. I have a family. I have a son. And I need to take care of him. And I need to take care of me. All right, guys. That's it. Thank you for listening. Bye now.